how to play euchre in, I don't know, 4 or 5 steps. Maybe it'll take a little longer on that. So overview, there's 2 teams. There's 4 players, there's 2 teams. You and your partner sit across from each other. So it goes yourself, your opponent, your partner. Oh, I'll do it like this. There's 2 teams. You've got yourself and your partner who sits across from you, and then your opponents sit on either side of you, and they sit across from each other. So it goes every other player. The object is to win at least 3 of the 5 tricks in a round. So every round, you are dealt 5 cards. And in that round, it's up to you and your partner to win at least 3 of the 5, so the majority. We'll get to scoring later. The game is played with a limited number of cards, so you only play with these cards in every suit. So 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace in every suit. The rest of the cards just go into a deck. You use the 6 and the 4 to help keep score, but that's easy enough. You can just basically pull out a black 6 and a black 4 and a red 6 and a red 4, and each team keeps track of their points. The games go up to 10. You don't need to win by 2. It's just the first team that gets up to 10 points wins the game, and then you can play as many games as you want. So here's the fun part. The fun part is the highest suit during any trick is what is called trump. So apologies to anybody who that's a trigger word now. It's a bummer because trump is what it's always been called. But it basically, whatever suit is trump is the highest suit of that round. And this is where it gets a little tricky. So let's say clubs are trump on this hand. That means a club, that would mean a 9 of clubs would beat something as high as like an ace of hearts. So if a player lays down an ace of hearts and your opponent does not have that suit in his hand left, he can play whatever card he wants. So the first rule of thumb is whoever leads the round sets the suit. So the suit, in this case, somebody lays this down first, and if you have a heart in your hand, you need to play a heart. So let's say the next player only has a 10 of hearts, so far this card is winning, and then somebody else doesn't have any hearts, but they also don't have any trump, so they just throw some shitty offhand card, so let us throw that down. This is still winning. However, if clubs is trump, I could play that card and win this trick. So basically I've won that trick. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Whoever leads the hand is setting the tone for that. So whoever leads the hand sets the suit for that hand. So this little 4 card layout is a hand. So somebody could lead something really low, hoping their partner has a higher club. Somebody could lead a high trump and try to draw out everybody's trumps. Or somebody could lead something early and high, hoping that this goes around. So early in rounds, like round 1, round 2 of the 5-round hand, likely people all have a heart, and so this has a good chance of going around without getting trumped. I just showed you, like in this case, oh no, I said clubs are trump. So in this case, clubs are trump, so I'm trumping that, and I would take this hand. Whoever wins that hand leads the next round. So by me winning this, I would actually play the next round. I think I said earlier, this is where it gets tricky, but now this is really where it gets tricky. It's kind of the hardest thing to remember. So let's say I told you earlier, clubs is trump. So if clubs is trump, the order of the cards actually changes. So the highest card when clubs is trump is actually now the jack. This is called the right bower. And to make things even more confusing, the same color jack becomes the left bower. So trump is now this whole set of cards. So you've got 9, 10, queen, king, ace, jack, jack. The hardest thing to remember is if somebody leads a spade in the regular order of play, if somebody leads like that, or somebody leads like a high spade, so they're saying that's the highest spade in this round. If they lead this, You, as the card holder of that, need to remember that this is trump. This is no longer a spade just for this round. So that's probably the hardest thing to remember. And it's okay to screw that up a couple times because you learn fast that you're either throwing away a trump card or you're playing off suit and you're not supposed to, in which case you forfeit that hand. I really hope this is making sense. This is hard to explain sometimes. So I've shuffled the cards. Actually, I've shuffled the cards. I offer the player to my right the cut. The player to my right should cut the cards or just tap on them if they don't want to cut them. Now, when I deal the cards, every player gets 5 cards. However, you need to deal them out in 2 revolutions. So a typical way of dealing it is to deal like 3 cards to the first player, 2 cards to the second player, 3 cards to the third player, 2 cards to yourself, and then you go reverse of that. So then you go 2 to the first player, 3 to the second player, 2 to the third player, and then 3 to myself, in which case we all have 5 cards in our hand. You should have 4 cards left over. This is called the blind. And what I do as the dealer is I turn the top card over. So that right now is considered temporary trump. So I've turned that card over, and right now hearts is trump. And the only way it becomes trump is if somebody asks me to pick this card up. So I look at my cards. Player to my left goes first. Player to the left looks at their cards. I'm gonna look at these cards really quick and I'll show you what they are. So in short, this is a pretty crappy hand. Yes, there's 2 trumps, but they're the 2 lowest trumps. So like I said, hearts is trump, but these are also trump. If player 1 to my left tells me to pick these cards up, they don't get this trump card, I get this trump card. So this player would likely pass. Let's see what's in player 2's hand. Player 2 is my partner because player 2 sits across from me. Player 2 would definitely pass. There's no trump in this player's hand, and has some, let's say spades was possibly trump. You can see, I'll put this in order. Take this away for a second. The order of highest to lowest, if spades was trump, would be left bower, ace, queen, 9. And then this is just an offsuit. That's just a 9. Anyway, this player would tell me to pass, and then this player would also tell me to pass, because that's a really crappy hand too. Like only 1 trump, that left bower, jack of diamonds, but hearts is trump, and there's no other hearts in here, and frankly 2 10s and a queen, kind of a crappy hand too. I, on the other hand, I'm going to show you this. So I have the highest card, the jack of hearts, which would be trump in this state. If I pick this card up, I now have 2 trumps in my hand, not the greatest of hands. However, I do have a high single suit, so only 1 high card in the clubs, and I've got the 2 highest in the diamonds, plus a 3rd. I need to discard 1, because I've picked up, now I have 6 cards, I need to discard 1. So I'm gonna discard that. And just for kicks, I probably would have turned that over, because this isn't the greatest of hands either. However, based on everybody else passing, perhaps I got a chance. Now, by me picking these up, I'm committing myself and my partner to win at least 3 tricks. And if I don't, then the other team has euchred us, and they win 2 points for getting euchred. Or for euchering us, they get 2 points. If we win 3 tricks or 4 tricks, we get 1 point. If we win all 5 tricks, we get 2 points. The variation on that, which I might as well tell you now, it doesn't happen that often. Let's say my hand was so good that my partner doesn't even need to play cards. I could just say, stay home. You don't need to, like, if I pick up this thing and all of a sudden I've got all trump in my hand and it's an amazing hand, I would basically tell my partner to stay home, and then therefore I'm playing against only the 2 opponents, and it just becomes a 3-person round, if you will. If I win 3 or 4 of those tricks, it's still 1 point. But if I win all 5 tricks because I won alone without my partner's help, I get 4 points, or we get 4 points. So that's a scoring variation. It only happens sometimes. Now, let's go back to the other way. Let's say instead of picking up this card, I turn it over. That means I don't think it's that good either. That means nothing is trump now. And the player to my left, the first player, can choose any suit in their hand to be trump. However, they don't have to. They could pass again. So this player, again, I'm going to show you these cards. Frankly, this card, this is like a bullshit hand. 2 9s and 2 10s, very low. And then, yes, you've got this. So if they were forced to, they could pick spades as trump, and then they've got the highest spade. Remember, right bower is the highest when it's trump. Or, and then they've got a 10. So still not the greatest hands. This player would probably pass. My partner across from me, like we looked at before, has got, oops, I didn't do that right, sorry about that. Basically, if he calls spades or they call spades, she, he, they, this is 4 trump right here. That's a pretty damn good hand. Actually, it's a really good hand. Yes, you're missing the king. Yes, you're missing the highest card, which would be the jack of spades in this case. However, 4 spades, really good. And the other thing to think about when you're strategizing is if this person across from me doesn't call spades and something gets called that's red, so like hearts or diamonds by the player next to them, this guy's screwed. Like, not very good hand at all. So let's say that person then calls me up. I do the same thing. Or no, actually, I've already turned this card over. So there's no cards to discard at all. We just start playing, in which case then the player to my left drops the first card. And I'm just going to go open suit. So this player, my partner across from me, called me up, or didn't call me up. They actually said they wanted to be spades. I look at my hand and I say, God damn it, because this is a really good diamond hand. And in fact, in many ways, it's better than this hand because you've got left bower, ace, queen, 9. So yes, 4 trump. However, I've got the left bower, ace, king, queen. So 4 of the top 5 cards. The only card that is higher than this card is the jack of diamonds. So in a way, I'd almost guarantee that I'm going to win at least 3 tricks here if you just do the math. Okay, so order of play, I'm just playing this open-handed. This player, first player has to drop their first card, and they're basically setting the suit for this round. They've got a really shitty hand, so there's really not much that they can even put out there. However, this player called spades, and strategically, there's not much other stuff that this guy can do, and they could play a spoiler if they want, or they could just, so let's just do this actually. By playing this 9 of diamonds, they're short suiting themselves. So they only have hearts and spades left, meaning hearts in this case trump because spades is trump. So play a diamond here. Player 2 needs to follow suit. So they need to either play a diamond. If they don't have a diamond, they can play wherever they want in their hand. Having nothing else to play, or having no diamonds to play, my partner plays the 9 of spades, meaning that's trump. So far this card is winning because it's trump. This player needs to follow suit, so they need to throw a diamond or something else. So they have to throw a diamond. So, you know, they're already losing. They already know they're losing this hand. So he's just going to throw his lowest card possible. And I can see my partner's winning. I don't want to beat my partner. Not that I can because I've got a crappy hand. But I'll just draw, I'll just throw my lowest card. So this is my lowest card out there, so I've thrown that. So this trick is won by my partner, and by my partner winning a trick, now my partner goes first. So my partner has got those hands. Sometimes they will look to their partner to win something. So my partner doesn't want to expose themselves too much by throwing any trump cards. So they're going to lead with the 9 of clubs, hoping that I'm going to win that hand. The player 2 here will now throw the king of clubs because that's going to be beating it. A, they have to follow suit, but B, they also want to win this trick. So that's his highest club. So I will come in and say, well, you know what? no thanks, I'm going to do that. So far I'm winning this trick. We all had to follow suit because clubs was led and we also had clubs in our hand. The fourth player here, though, has no clubs, so then they can actually trump this. So they're going to throw a super low trump because why waste the highest one? So they're going to throw this one instead, and they've won that trick. Now, because they've won that trick, it's their turn. I hope this is making sense to everybody. So this player really doesn't have a whole lot of options. Just to be, hopefully, a spoiler, they're going to say, okay, let's see what y'all made of. I'm going to throw the very highest card on this round. And so they're throwing out the jack. There's no way you can beat this jack, so you might, and you have to follow suit. So you might as well throw your lowest trump possible. So you throw that low trump, and this player's like, oh crap. But this player's like, oh shit, I've got no trump at all, so I'm just gonna throw a super low card. And I've got no trump either, so I'm gonna throw a super low card. And player one has won a second trick. Now, that means because my partner called up a suit and said spades is trump, we are on the hook to win at least 3 rounds or 3 tricks. So far, they've won 2 tricks and we've only won 1. It means we got to win the next 2. And based on these, nothing else can beat these. So I'll just play it out. So they play a 9. You know, my partner throws his ace. I'm like, sweet, you're nailing it. Good job. We throw that. Nobody else can follow suit. I just throw that. My partner wins that. Partner throws out that card. And this wins. A, it wins because nobody even had that suit, and B, it wins as well because it's the second highest trump card. Remember, the 2 jacks are the highest when it comes to trump. Jack, on the other hand, if it's an offsuit trump, it just becomes a regular old jack. So that round would have scored 1 point, 3 tricks to 2 tricks. We took the 3. We committed to winning that round, so we therefore were on the hook to win at least 3 tricks. If we had won all 5 tricks, we would have gotten 2 points. But because we only won 3 tricks, or if we had won 4 tricks, we would have gotten 1 point. If we had only won 2 tricks, or 1 trick, or no tricks, that means we would have been euchred, in which case our opponents would have scored 2 points. You play up to 10. Hopefully this makes some sense. The first couple of times I suggest playing open-handed and talking about the rules as much as possible. But the object of the game is you and your opponent should win 3 of the 5 tricks to win points, or to score a point. If you win all 5, you get 2 points. If you win 3 or 4 tricks, you get 1 point. You play as many rounds as possible to get to the score of 10. I hope that makes sense.